Wells Fargo, a historically important part of our American heritage, has been in the woodshed for a few years now, and for good reason. They established sham accounts for their customers and charged them for things they didn't want or ask for, amongst other things. They have been hauled up to the Hill before the House and before the Senate, and it was not a love fest.
Best, you were incompetent. At worst, you were complicit. And either way, you should be fired.
Wells Fargo officials testified to tepid measures to address concerns, but later there was even more trouble. Now the U.S. Federal Reserve has weighed in, taking an action which one commenter said is putting the fear of God in bank boardrooms. Here to discuss is Erich Reimer, a former SEC official and policy commentator. Erich, thank you for being with us. First of all, tell us what you make of their entire sort of nefarious actions. Give our viewers what Wells Fargo has done over the last 3 years to put them in this problematic circumstance.
And so it's a very multifaceted problem. Basically, back in September 2016, the CFPB, the OCC, and the Los Angeles City Attorney revealed that Wells Fargo for about a decade had been encouraging or at least facilitating its sales reps to create millions of fake accounts, primarily checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards for their customers that were not authorized by their customers. And essentially this allowed Wells Fargo to reach sales quotas, to drive increased fees, and to basically bolster their bottom line at the expense of their customers. This also goes on top of several other scandals the past 2 years that Wells Fargo has faced, ranging from the car loan scandal, whereby they did not give the rebates to customers for prepaying their car loans, a car insurance scandal, a life insurance scandal whereby they overcharged customers for that, and of all scandals, even most recently a $100 million settlement whereby they were found to have been overcharging veterans for mortgage refinancing under a VA program.
If you can't do anything, let's kick the veterans. Boy, what a horrible thing. So what's the Fed going to do with regard to their assets, Erich?
And so the Federal Reserve sanction is a very extraordinary one. Basically, the Federal Reserve will be preventing Wells Fargo from increasing their assets beyond what they were at the end of the 2017 calendar year. At 2017, their assets stood at about $1.9 trillion. And so until Wells Fargo meets certain Federal Reserve mandates regarding risk management and a change in their management culture, they will not be permitted to grow their asset size beyond that. They will also have to replace 4 board members.
Okay, so that's why this comment about the fear of God in bank boardrooms, that they're essentially capping their assets. And if you look at what happens with the 6 banks since that time, June of 2015, when all these nefarious actions came into to light, Wells Fargo really has been on the bottom of the barrel. But you think you wrote in where did you write? You wrote an op-ed recently. Where was it?
Seeking Alpha.
In Seeking Alpha. You wrote you think they can actually get beyond that. Real quickly, how are they going to do that?
I think by now the scandal's been dragging them the past few years, and they've certainly lagged behind other major banks in terms of performance. I think, however, now that the scandal finally will be put to rest, hopefully, they will hopefully finally be able to start growing again after it's finally resolved.
Okay, Erich Reimer, public strategist and public commentator on these things. Thank you so much for being with us. It's great to have you.
Great to be on.
Time now for a quick break, but stick around because when we return, we'll discuss the market meltdown. Why did it occur? Is there more to come? We'll get into it all. And as we go to break, here are the numbers at the closing bell.